here with Matt Tiger, former Immanuel High Eagles Standout, Kingsburg native, and currently playing football for the Greenville University Panthers. Matt, I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you having me.
No problem, no problem. So just, I know this was you had your sophomore year at Greenville University this past year for the football team. So just how did your sophomore year go?
Good. We went undefeated in conference. Ended up winning our conference title for the first time in 9 years, and we made the first ever national playoffs for our college ever. So that was a really cool season. This was my first year getting to start in a college game, and so that was really fun. It was a great group of guys that we just worked together, and it was a great experience for the season.
Nice. I know coming out of Emmanuel, it is a smaller school here in the Central Valley. You went to Greenville. You guys, like you said, you guys did make the NCAA Division III playoffs for the first time. So just coming from a small school at Emmanuel and going to Greenville, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make, or was it kind of a little bit similar?
So it was actually very similar. So it's a private university, and it's based around a Christian academics. So it's basically what I've been used to going through high school, and it's more of a smaller school. I think it's like 85 to 90% of our students are athletes. So it's like pretty much everyone's there playing a sport. And so everyone's kind of on the same page. Like it's a lot of like group work, which was like a lot of Emmanuel, a lot of working in groups, hands-on stuff. So like actually getting experience, having to work at games for different sports and everything. So it was a really smooth transition because I felt pretty much at home right when I got there.
Nice. I know this year you played all 11 games. You had 378 yards receiving. You had 4 touchdowns. So, just being able to play, start, like you said, you start your first game in college. I mean, what was that like for you just to, get on the field in a college game?
It was super exciting. So I was just the whole season before I had played running back. And so I ended up switching to receiver because our running back right now, Paul Garrett, is ranked #1 in all of D3. So I ended up switching to receiver so I could get on the field faster. And I just fell in love with the position, and it was just a great experience. My parents were able to come to the first game, fly out to Illinois, come to our first game, see me start. And it was a really cool experience. It felt like getting my first varsity start in high school all over again. It's something that you can't really recreate, but it just felt very good.
You guys went 8-3 this year at Greenville. Like you said, to be able to help lead the team to the playoffs for the first time, make history at your guys' school. What was just that like, that whole atmosphere this year of being being, I guess, part of the team that was able to do that?
So I think what a big role played into it was how everyone just bought in. No one ever is always going to agree or be on the same page, especially coming from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different everything, but everyone just bought into the core belief, like, hey, we're all here to win a championship. We've come this far. We put in this much work. We had a whole season last year that got canceled because of COVID. Let's go. Let's just buy in. Whatever the coach says, we might not agree with it, but we're going to go 100% whatever he says because we're just going to buy in. And we didn't really have anybody go in the opposite way. And I think what really helped is that our team is so close knit, and our coach preaches accountability within ourselves. And everyone does a very good job of keeping each other accountable and accepting that accountability. A lot of times you'll have people that are good at giving accountability, but aren't great at accepting it. And our team is just very good at, it doesn't matter who you are, if you play, you don't play, we're all keeping each other accountable because we all want the same thing at the end.
What advice would you give, high school graduates that are going to be going, looking for colleges, playing JUCO, maybe, thinking that, they didn't get that offer they wanted for a Division I school or, a Division II, but just what advice would you give them, playing at a Division III school, just heading into their future of athletics?
Yeah. So a lot of people are like that. It's like, I didn't get that D1 offer. I don't want to, I'm not playing anymore. But the thing is if you love the sport, everyone has a different path. There's that JUCO route, and out of JUCO, you could always go D3, D2, D1. If you seriously think you can go D1, I say go the JUCO route. And if you can't, you still have other offers. You have the opportunity to play other sports. But just getting to play, don't snub a D3 or a D2. Just getting the chance to play the sport you love you can work, you can go to school, you can do all that anytime you want. You have a certain amount of eligibility you can use to play the one sport you love. Why not take it? Why not go out there and take it? And if you are, work on your time management. That is the biggest thing that I struggled with my freshman year was time management, figuring out when I need to do homework to be able to not miss class or not be late to practice or be late to a meeting. And it really makes you grow up fast. And I think it's a great experience that no matter what level you're playing at, if you have the opportunity to play and you want to, go play.
Talked a little bit about right there the time management. As a freshman, going into college, how long did it take you, to realize that, time management is going to be the key, or to, figure that out?
It took me about midway through my second semester there. It was just like, man, I feel swamped. I'm always doing things last minute because I'm worried about going to practice, the meetings. School was a secondary option for me. Like, I need to get this done. But once you realize, like, hey, I have an hour break between these classes. Instead of going back and taking a nap or playing some video games, I'm gonna hop on some homework, get one assignment done, just aim for one assignment, and then go to class, get one more assignment done after class. That's already two assignments done. And it made my life so much easier. And it made this year so much easier academically and athletically.
Coming from the Central Valley, like I had mentioned earlier, you're a Kingsburg native. You went to Immanuel High School. You know, when you got to college, did you think that the transition would be easy? Coming from there, or did you kind of like once you step foot on campus, you realize like, oh, you know what, this is going to be a little bit harder than I imagined.
So the one thing that I thought was going to be a lot easier that wasn't was the weather. I did not think I would dislike the snow as much as I do. I did not think that the rain would happen every other day. It was a rude awakening leaving. Like, I thought it was bad here, but when you go to the Midwest, it is a different type of unpredictable. And that was the hardest transition. Like, when it's winter and we're practicing, I'm wearing layers upon layers upon layers because I can't even handle it. It's just so cold.
Um, I guess for you coming out of Kingsburg, and going to Division 3, um, was this always the plan for you, or always the dream, or like you said, once Greenville, showed interest in you wanting to go there, was that what, I'm going to take every foot forward in this venture?
So I was emailing every single coach I could get a hold of, D1, D2, D3, anywhere I could find. I was emailing them myself because we had a transition of coaches like at Immanuel. So we had just gotten a new coach and it's hard. So I just decided to take it myself and try and do it. And it didn't really work out. And so I had almost given up because I didn't have any offers going through the whole season. So I had pretty much thought I was just going to go to the military, like it's over with. But one of my former coaches, Stephen Rennie, he had reached out to his alma mater, Greenville, and they were able to work out a thing where I had to go compete for a scholarship. And I ended up getting the full tuition scholarship over there. So I was just like, well, I'm getting my school paid for. I can go a chance to play the sport I love. I'm going to take it. Moving away this far from home was not the plan. I was thinking maybe a JUCO, maybe military, but things fell into place and I felt like I had to go. I felt like it just worked out that way.
And what's that say about, just the life of an athlete? Like you said, you you weren't guaranteed anything at Greenville. You had to go and earn your scholarship, which you did. So, I mean, how much more, I guess, proud of yourself are you that you went there, you earned your scholarship, and now, like you said, you're playing the sport you love.
Um, I would say at first going over there, I wasn't really proud at all because in my head I was thinking, oh, D3. I have that social media trend where it's if you're not D1, you're not good. And then once I got there and I came in with a class of I think 40 to 50 kids. I think now going into my junior year, I have 20 of those kids still there. And you just realize how much a revolving door college sports really is because some people just can't take the stress of handling a class on top of having a full day of a full job pretty much with football. And on top of that, you're pretty much broke. So you're trying to find a job on campus and that's taking up your time too. So it's just like a lot of people just can't handle it or they can't handle the program itself and they leave. And it makes me proud that I've lasted this long. And I realize that it's actually very difficult to be an athlete no matter what level you play at.
You kind of had mentioned that, your guy. I'm sure your guys' season or your guys' season was affected by COVID. The last few
Mm.
years. So I mean, with that season being taken away, did it also, I guess, reignite the love you have of football that it was taken away for a little bit?
It was that moment where it was like, because what happened was when we got there, we didn't know what was going to go on. So we didn't know if we were playing in the fall yet. So we were practicing like normal camp and everything. And then we got told our season was going to be in the spring. So we practiced throughout the fall already like it was season. So this was my first time of ever playing like year round padded up football. And it made me just realize like, if you're not playing games, you're only practicing. You're not playing games. You're just going to be practicing. You're taking hits. This is where you know if you love the game or not. Like you're using your body for no gain right now except to be better for the when you can play. You don't know when that is, but when you can. And that's kind of I think when you figure out like this is the sport I love because I'm willing to come out here every day, rain or shine, in the snow, and tear up my body for no reason at the moment and still love it, still enjoy every second of it.
And you kind of mentioned how your journey led you to Greenville University. Would you suggest that with some of the athletes, right, even right now that don't have scholarship offers, or are trying, to maybe go to a different route? Would you just suggest, maybe them reaching out to, just schools? The worst case scenario, they say no, but best case scenario, they might get at least an offer to go there and maybe walk on or earn a spot.
I mean, I did that. I didn't get like a single response, but it didn't hurt. Like, I mean, I was in the same boat I was in when I started. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt. I attached my highlights, I attached my contact information and just sent them out. Like, I mean, it didn't hurt my chances of going to college. It could only help them. So I would say do it if you really want to play, just try it. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. So, I mean, I would recommend doing that, but bet on yourself. If you believe in yourself, bet on yourself. Like that's going to get you far in life if you just bet on yourself.
Nice. And then just a couple quick more questions. So just um, what are you looking forward to going into your junior season? I know pretty sure you're going to be starting up camp here, in a couple months, just like other football teams. But what are you looking to grow on, in your junior year and just contribute to the team this year?
So one thing I really want to work on is more of my blocking. So as a receiver, I didn't really get a lot of open field blocking because I never really played receiver. So that's one thing I really want to work on this camp is my open field blocking. So like my downfield safeties, the corners, like I'm having to switch. I really want to get better at that. And I really want to grow as more of a vocal leader. I've never been good at being a vocal leader. I more try to lead by example, but I'm going to try to be more of a vocal leader because my coaches have been asking, but it's just hard for me to like, I don't know. I've just never really been the type to like yell at people and just, I don't know. It's been tough for me to do that.
And nice, nice. And then just finally, I always ask this to any athlete I interview. With a lot of the stuff going on, with the pandemic, the struggles of college or the time management, how do you keep yourself mentally, there, with all the mental health issues that have been going on lately? How do you mentally, uh, reflect or just mentally just stay in the process of everything?
So what really helps as like underrated as it might sound is dorm talks, like friends coming over to dorms, just talking. Like everybody goes through struggles, and I think sometimes we don't realize it. Like we like, oh, that person has it so put together, but everyone's struggling with something, whether we know it or not. And it's more that like when you talk about it with someone, whether you're talking about your same struggles, whether it's on the field, off the field, it's like you're like, man, this guy is going through it too. Like it might not be the same thing, but we're both going through something. And I don't know. It's more that like keeping accountable. And I know one thing that really helps our team does. I don't know if this is a unique thing or not, but we do something called accountability groups where we have people check. We have a group where we constantly have a group chat and we'll text each other like, hey, how's things back home? How are things going? So like it's more like how's school going? What's going on? Like one time, one of our accountability groups, one of our guys' grandmothers passed away. So he texted us and we ended up going over to help him study to catch up on a class he had missed because of it. And it's just stuff like that. Like it really goes a long way. Like you can be vulnerable and know you're safe about it. And also know that like you're not going to lose respect from your teammates because they're doing the same thing as you are.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, Matt, I appreciate the time. I know you're home for the summer, so have a great summer and good luck. For your junior year. We'll be watching. Hopefully, we'll talk. Again in your junior year. But I appreciate the time, Matt.
I appreciate it too, Chris. I love what you're doing. Keep it up.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.